Welcome viewers, check out this John Deere. You're never going to see another one in this condition in your life, I guarantee you. This is a 1974 John Deere 140H3. This has the 3 hydraulic spool valves versus the H1 which had 1. This is serial number 59,409. I think anything over 56,000 made it a 74. So originally I thought it was a 73. Now I just completed the restoration on this yesterday. It took about 4 months of virtually all of my spare time, weekends, after work, most evenings after work, to get it into this condition. It is completely done. There's nothing that I haven't restored on this. Every single bolt on it's been restored. I think it was like about 220 painted pieces and about 600 pieces total to get this thing back in this condition. It has a 14 horse Kohler on it. It has 2 large ball bearings in it. This is a lot different than your regular lawnmower. Lawnmowers usually have the crankshaft. It goes down, it goes vertically, and it'll have a pulley on the bottom of it and a belt that drives the transmission. This one, the crankshaft goes horizontal, and it's got a drive shaft that runs back to this hydrostatic unit and the pump, which supplies pressure for your hydraulics and also propels the tractor. Now these were marketed to landscapers and farmers. These are actually a yard tractor. It's not a lawn mower. I guess the thought was if you could have more of these out in the field doing what you're doing for the same price as having just one larger tractor. So let's go for a little walk around. Let me fire it up for you and show you how this thing operates. Quick walk around. I'll tell you some of the things I did on this. I acquired this grill. It was from a guy, I think he was in Michigan. He said he got it acquired in a state, and that was in it. And it is brand spanking new. I don't know if it's new old stock, but it's all I did was paint it. It probably didn't even need to be painted, but it's never been used. It's incredible. The one I have is just beat to a pulp. This headlight bezel is the original one. It's got the piece missing right on the corner, but these I think are 175 bucks. I just painted it up, put a new sticker on it, and some new GE 4411 tractor lights. I think these caps are the original. The bumper. Now my neighbor's a machinist, and these spindles were completely worn out. They were just flopping around. And he bored these out and put some bronze sleeves in it, and they are tight. And he's also put a washer down here because this bottom of the spindle was worn also. But they are tight. They're probably better than when they came out in 1974. Also, I put sealed bearings in it, so I don't need to grease the front axle anymore. The front axles, it's got a grease zerk on it, but it won't be used. I had the wheels sandblasted, and then I painted those up also. So the original wheels, they were stamped February of 1973. This is original. Carburetor's been replaced. Coil's been replaced. Original voltage regulator. And the tires were new when I bought this thing, and it just barely ran. It was just a complete pile of crap, rust bucket. And this thing sat for about 12 years before I decided to do this. So they were new. They have very low hours on it before I restored this. It's got new taillights. Brakes, axle seals. One axle bearing was bad. I had to make custom, I had to get that universal gasket sheets and then cut out the gaskets. These are obsolete. And I had to get new brake drums. They were completely gone. New brake shoes. It's got independent drum brakes on it. This has a Dana 20 rear end in it. Guess these were in transfer cases and pickups back in the day. It is beefy, just like a regular truck differential. I had that apart, resealed that. And it's got all new sticker kits. The hood is in a replacement. The one I had was completely gone. I got this for 310 bucks. Some guy makes them. Fit really nice. Just robbed the bracket off my original one, and it's got new hardware down here. This tank I had to outsource. It was the one that was in it wasn't the original. I don't even know what it was off of, but this I got for 65 bucks on eBay. Had to put the battery hold down in there. Didn't have a battery hold down, and it's got a foam, 1/4-inch foam mat in the underneath the battery, and so I got some foam and cut that out just like original. The wiring harness is original. It's cleaned up. It is exactly how it would have came back in the day. I also got the OE battery cables. These are actually reversed. I think the positive was on this side, but it seemed to fit better this way, so I ran with that. This Kohler is a cast iron engine with the aluminum head on it. It's air cooled. It's got a big flywheel. It's got fins on it. Pulls air through the screen, and the drive shaft's in there, and it runs back. It pulls air in here, and then it pushes it up, and it runs it through the cylinder head fins, and it also runs it over the muffler, keep everything cool. This is the original starter. I just cleaned it up and I painted it. Still works good. Original dipstick. See the hydraulic lines. It's got grommets down here. They still made those, but I had to pull all those out, and they were just completely rusted. It's got the dual brakes for the right, left, or you can flick the lever for dual. This is what propels it, the hydrostatic lever, and it's got a neutral safety switch. See if I can get you underneath this. I don't know if you can see anything under there. Yeah, there it's coming in. There's the pump assembly, and then that big beefy Dana 20 in there, and it's got a filter. There's the spool valve right there, and there's the rock shaft cylinder. Hydraulically takes the mower up and down. Yeah, that was a lot of work to get all this done under there. There's a lot going on underneath this in such a small area. The pitman arms have been replaced and redone. A couple tie rod ends. I had to replace the outers. Yeah, this thing's borderline museum quality. It's gonna be tough for me to use this thing. I took it up to the neighbors yesterday, and his dad was up there, and he couldn't keep his eyes off it, and he said, man, he goes, I wouldn't stick that thing in dirt. I would just putt that thing around, go to the mailbox, just cruise it around, but I would not get that thing dirty. I think he wanted to buy it on the spot, but it ain't for sale. Well, everything's for sale for a price, but has the original steering wheel. It's got some age up here, but it's not cracked. Had to put a new center cap in, it was gone. And the amp gauge is original. Had to redo that. This is a new sticker on there. And it's the original levers. I just they're faded on the bottom. I just flipped them around and stuck them on, re-glued them on. This is the parking brake down here. Let's fire this thing up. Tightened up. That's the only thing I gotta do. Just the bracket down. Add an idle or rattle. Just off idle though. There's no safety on this thing. So I was drunk at the neighbor's yesterday, and this thing bucked me off, and it started heading right back toward the garage, and it was just going to plow right into it. Luckily, he grabbed the lever. It knocked the wind out, and you can see where my shoes scuffed this. It bent the key at a 90, and it bent the choke, and I had to bend all that back. But yeah, one drunken incident on it yesterday.